Hi, this is Soul Mechanics, practical tune-ups to be a healthy human, and I'm your host, Kate Foley. Sometimes we open our eyes one day to a different life, one that we never thought that we'd be living. Sometimes we open our eyes to a nightmare. We awaken to a treacherous and unfathomable path before us. Our footing is unstable on a narrow, crumbling trail along a very steep, jagged cliff. The path is dimly lit, and there are shifting shapes and darkness all around us. We're paralyzed. Movement doesn't seem possible. Which way do we go? Every direction looks dark and frightening. Nothing is as it seems. We see deception and danger everywhere. Perhaps you're facing an abusive situation, someone close to you, someone with whom you've placed your trust, your heart, and your deepest vulnerabilities has betrayed you. Maybe your spouse is having an affair, or you're being gaslit and manipulated to doubt yourself and your decisions. Maybe you've been told for so long that you aren't good enough, or fun enough, or lovable, or worthy. Maybe you've been screamed at and pushed and bullied. Maybe one day you fought back, and the worst of all your nightmares happened. You became someone you didn't recognize. Try not to be frightened of the person you see in the mirror. It's okay to see something or someone that's unfamiliar. You have to realize that our lives are here to teach us about ourselves. We all have dark sides. We are all capable of great and terrible things. It's okay. When you look at yourself and see something dark and frightening, look closer. Ask that part of yourself questions. What are you doing here? What compelled you to show up in my life? What can you teach me right now? Get to know that part of yourself. Our darker selves aren't so scary once we begin to shine light on them. It's an education, not something to fear. You awoke to your nightmare because you felt a sudden conflict within yourself. The conflict arises because all of that which you've been told is a lie. The lie is, you're not good enough. You're selfish. You're unworthy of love. You aren't capable. Then you awaken to the truth. The truth is that you're beautiful, creative, loving, lovable, worthy, highly capable, and a bright, bright light. The lie cannot remain when the truth is realized. Truth is always true. Truth is universal. And as you know in your heart, what is true? You can feel it when it's said. Truth is a relief. It's a deep sigh. It's a coming home. Awaken to your truth. When you tell yourself the truth and begin to believe it, that's your headlamp along your dark ridge. That's your guide home. The lies create tension and doubt. Truth creates relaxation and clarity. We aren't here to be perfect. We're here to experience life. We're here to live. Life is dirty. Yeah, it's beautiful and green and full of music. Yes, I agree. But life is also dirty. Humans are complicated. Relationships are complicated. And they require compromise, respect, honesty, and trust. But they don't always work out that way. That's when you know that you have a dirty lesson. Not all relationships have dirty lessons, but a lot do. When you awaken to your dirty lesson, you have to pull in, gather your strength, get to know yourself. That's the only way to clarity. Where is your strength? Who can you turn to for guidance and comfort? Who's your rock? If you don't have one, find one. Reach out to a resource center, sit on a bench, walk in a park. People are always looking to help someone, and spiritually, you're always being guided toward connection and ascension. Ask for help silently or outwardly. Your answer is always waiting, but it doesn't always take the form you think. But you have to reach out and ask. Don't be ashamed or embarrassed when you need help. We all need help at some point, and we all need each other. You must choose yourself when your soul or life is calling you. This is not selfish. This is one form of guidance calling you. Life, or your soul, usually calls to you through darkness. This is not unusual. Paradoxically, some of our darkest times can be the most illuminating. We often discover incredible strength and untapped potential through horrific events and hardship. We also reach out to God and guidance during the darkest times. How do you answer life's call when you feel paralyzed? How do you know where to place your foot? I've said this before and I'll say it again. Follow the voice that leads you to your strength and fulfillment. Follow the voice that leads you to reaching out for connection. Follow the voice that leads you to creating something. You know that little voice inside that says, if I had no limitations, I'd buy a house in this neighborhood and I would work for that company this many days per week. I'd go to the beach on Saturdays and ride my bike for an hour. This is what you do. This is the call. Is it easy? No. Does it happen in a month? No. Will it stretch you to your limits? Yes. Will you jump hurdles the size of buildings? Yes. But as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, when you make a decision, the universe conspires to make it happen. You have to commit to it. You don't have to think it will happen. You just have to commit to your soul's calling. Our souls are boundless. That's right, boundless. We are capable of doing incredible things if we are committed to the call. And we're given urges and desires and goals that warm our hearts. These are very different from cravings or instant gratifications, for instance. Our soul urges are long-term fulfillments. They usually involve connecting with other people or creating something that didn't exist before, or getting your hands dirty, or doing something that could potentially humiliate you. But you can feel the urge in your heart, not your head. The urge is like a glacial movement. You lean into it. It's not quick and it's not momentary, but it's always there. And there's usually a risk involved with a soul's urge. And almost always, you will confront some aspect of your ego. This confrontation of the ego can take many forms, but here are some examples. Observing your fear but acting anyway. Laughing at yourself when you fall on your face and then getting up, dusting off, reevaluating, and trying again. Moving away from judging yourself and others. Loving your family, but choosing something that's never been done in your family. Breathing instead of drinking, listening instead of talking, shirking convention, walking instead of running, giving credit rather than receiving credit, restraint, leading with people rather than in front of them, confronting your expectations of people and of your life. Let's look at that one. What are your expectations of your life? Did you have some picture in your mind about how your life was supposed to look? How about all the people in your life? Where are they supposed to act? Or were they supposed to act and be a certain way? Are you invested in convention and all the shoulds of society? Life is unpredictable, and so are relationships. We don't fit into little boxes, and you don't fit into a little box. The little box is so limiting. How can anyone change and grow when they're stuffed into a little box? When this confrontation presents itself, it's time to take that little box, open the lid, and dump everything out. Drop that little box off in the recycling bin and let go. Loosen your grip and allow everyone and everything to take shape in their own terms, to make their own decisions, and to be who they are, functional or dysfunctional. You don't have to live with them or like them, but take them out of the little box and allow them to be what they are. You might be pleasantly surprised by how much you grow and change once you step out of that little box and allow everyone else to step out of that little box. This isn't about being right or wrong. It's about taking a closer look at the things in our lives that are challenging and scaring us. Try not to stuff them away. Get out your magnifying glass and your headlamp and look at them. Don't judge yourself. Just take a look. Evaluate your ideas of family. What does family mean to you? Does family mean loyalty at all costs? Is one person supposed to degrade and demean themselves for the sake of family? What are you willing to compromise for your family's sake? Is this necessary? What rules have you set up for yourself and everyone in your family? Who are you allowed to confront? This doesn't have to mean shunning your family, but being in an intimate relationship with someone who doesn't respect you can be very damaging. And if you consider that person your family, what does that mean about the rest of your life? And what does that mean about who you are and your purpose here? When everything is upside down and seems like chaos has taken over, step back. Step back from the personal view and try really hard to be an observer of your own life. Be impersonal. You can do this by being your own best friend. Here's what I mean by that. Do you have a very close friend who you love? You might live at a distance from him or her, but you can observe their life through a different lens, a detached lens. You're involved, but not necessarily attached to his or her life. Look at the people and figures they have around them. Who's supportive? Who's disruptive? Are there stable figures? How's their job? What are their attitudes? Do they have unreasonable expectations about themselves or others in their life? How would you direct them toward a more peaceful and stable life? Or maybe the chaos is what's needed. Have you ever looked at someone and thought, they need something to come in and shake them up? Sometimes people need destabilization to remove those dysfunctional and possibly abusive patterns. Those patterns will not break otherwise. We have to look at these painful interactions in order to change. Changing our lives is about decisions. That's all it is. One decision can change your entire life. When someone verbally degrades you, or blames you, or lies to you, you end up in physical altercations that tear you down into shredded pieces. Are you going to invest more in this interaction? This is your choice. You can continue to interact and feed into this pattern and perpetuate it for years, or even the rest of your life. Or you can disengage. You can begin to make choices, pulling your energy away from this pattern and creating a different pattern. It feels painful at first because the drama and unpredictability are familiar. As odd as it seems, we become accustomed to pain sometimes. And when you remove the painful stimulus, there are parts of us that desire that pain again. It's familiar, and it also chemically alters us. There's an addictive quality to pain. So you need to be aware of this and vigilant to it. Every time you begin to feel that pang of missing someone who causes so much pain and drama in your life, remind yourself that you've become accustomed and dependent upon that interaction. That interaction has become your normal. Life will actually seem boring at first when you choose function over dysfunction. The erratic and unpredictable have become familiar and desirable. You expect that pit in your stomach and the rush of adrenaline, but it's not healthy, and it won't lead you to fulfillment or peace. It's a perpetuating cycle of breakdown and demise. Can you stand back and look at your life through detached eyes? Did you need a destabilization? Where is your energy going? Are you investing your energy in drama? Do you respond to criticism with disbelief and outrage? Or do you dismiss it and move on with your day? How much of your heart are you placing in a person who doesn't respect you? Are they worthy of your heart and attention? Drama doesn't require any of your attention. People who live in drama feed on drama. The drama is the apex of their lives. Every interaction they have is to create, perpetuate, or gather tools for more drama. This type of lifestyle is exhausting to all involved. Typically, there's some lure or hook that they know they can utilize to get you emotionally attached. My advice with any person addicted to drama is do not engage. If you must respond, be clinical. What do I mean by clinical? I mean respond only to the facts. Separate your emotions from your response. If you feel any emotion surfacing while you're interacting, set it aside and deal with it later. Be rational and only respond to the facts. If the dramatic person only interacts with criticizing or doubting or drawing you into a battle, and you find it difficult not to respond, mirror them. Say something like, "You sound like you're in a lot of pain," or "You sound very angry right now." Don't ask questions and don't say anything that might engage them further. But in my opinion, the best response is not to engage in the drama. If it's all hysterics, no response is the best response. If they threaten to hurt themselves or others, find out where they are and call 911. But you do not need to be involved otherwise. Get used to the quiet. Familiarize yourself with stillness. Walk in nature. Listen to your inner whispers. Sleep. Breathe. Eat soup. Admire flowers and tell them how beautiful they are. Get back to basics. Giggle at your unique silliness. Sit with loving company. Just sit. Allow the feelings of pain to surface and watch them. Perhaps tell the people who you love about your feelings as they surface. You are changing your life with your decisions. Engage with gentleness and the love all around you, supporting you. This is your soul's calling. Answer with vigor. Challenge yourself. Frighten yourself by pursuing your dreams. Why allow someone else to give you a rush of adrenaline through degradation when you can get your rush through taking risks to live your dream? You are strong, capable, gorgeous, and so, so worthy. The love all around you is here to cheer you on. We love you, and we will always be here for you. This is Kate Foley. Thank you for listening.